Ari Aster's COVID Western Eddington released last week. I finally got the chance to see it last night. And to be honest, walking out of this film, I didn't even know if I could rate it. Here are my general thoughts on the film without any spoilers. I was excited when I heard this film was divisive. I like a divisive film. Of course it's divisive. It's COVID times. Not everybody wants to see it, and I really, really respect this film for making that bold step. And Ari Aster as a filmmaker and director, I really enjoy. Beau Was Afraid, I love that film. Most people disagree with that. I actually watched Hereditary for the first time yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. But what those films have, at least to me, that this film doesn't, is successful attempts at nuance. There are so many cool and interesting ideas that get so cluttered in everything that they're trying to attempt here. I think what this film does master is using all those elements to exemplify the feeling of that time. This is an uncomfortable movie full with uncomfortable people. As hysteria, the way that a single social media post can be as powerful as a heated confrontation. It's definitely an interesting move to have your main character of the film be played by one of the most famous actors in the world, being a conservative police officer who hates masks and wants to become the mayor. It definitely provides an interesting perspective on everything that's going down, and I respect the fact that it's different in that way. With that perspective, it doesn't really do much to say anything with it. No joke, I made this list a long time ago, and this fits perfectly in that niche because it is, at its core, an A24 film with some guy having the absolute worst time of his life. With saying that, I think foremost, this film is entertaining. Besides the second act being dull to me, I think the first act is interesting setup while the third act is just wild. Go back to the second act though. I was really intrigued by everything that I was seeing in all these little pieces, but I was just confused where it was all going. It became more of a trip down memory lane of pain than to go into anything deeper. Ari Aster uses the real-life riots for the fictional story, and I thought it was really misguided. Should he be the person to do that? Yet the failures of the Trump administration were almost completely ignored. Some of the real-world stuff is utilized in a good, serviceable way, but I think a lot of the other stuff is just weird taste. And maybe that's the point and everything, but if you're setting up all this stuff that is so based in our real world and all of this experience that we all had, 5 years ago, right? But also doing it in the confines of this story of fictional people. It struggles to combine both of them coherently. Emma Stone, who plays his wife, is completely and totally wasted, and she has the side plot with Austin Butler, who I think is also wasted. So many characters and subplots, it's so easy to get jumbled. Like Pedro Pascal's character, he's important until he isn't. Everything gets almost thrown out the window to try and hone back in on this one perspective. It's a baffling move to me, but Joaquin Phoenix's character, Joe Cross, is the one with the most actual depth. Makes you question everything that happened before and after, for better or worse. I'll say this, Ari Aster, he knows how to begin a third act. Shit gets real here. There's an element that they kind of introduce out of nowhere that I think pulls you out of the fact that this is a small town matter and makes it this bigger thing in an instant that I think could have worked in a better way, but it just didn't work here. I did end up giving this film a 2.5 out of 5. I think as a filmmaking venture, it's fascinating. It's entirely entertaining with respectable attempts at tackling all this stuff in the confines of a story. I just think it couldn't get all of this stuff all of the way to the finish line. Have you seen Eddington? What did you think about it? Remember, all movies are art, and of course, follow for more.